Happening now, COVID-19 cases increase over the weekend. We check in with new numbers next, plus new recommendations for local athletes to stay safe.
Well, the HD News Now cam shows you the partial sunshine out there for today, but is there going to be any big weather hassles to contend with this week? I'll let you know in detail next. The news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now as we start off a brand new week. I'm Justin Gould. Cattaraugus County reported its 32nd COVID-19 related death and 61 new cases of the virus over the weekend. The county health department says a 71-year-old woman living in the southeast part of the county developed respiratory failure and was unable to overcome the illness. This marks the county's 5th COVID-19 death just this month. Of the 61 new cases, 36 were reported on Saturday and 25 on Sunday. There are now 443 active cases in the county. The county's 7-day average infection rate also increased to 6.9%, with 23 people hospitalized. Since the outbreak started, the county reported 1,403 cases total, with 928 of those recovered. Chautauqua County reported 90 new cases on Friday, with 263 active. Now, due to a change in their reporting method, the county is expected to release the weekend's update this afternoon. COVID-19 still has a tight grip on the nation, and while the federal government is promising an authorized vaccine soon, the deadly virus is surging in the U.S. with record hospitalization numbers, including another close associate of President Trump. John Lawrence explains.
Rudy Giuliani, President Trump's personal attorney, hospitalized Sunday with COVID-19, a source tells CNN.
All the folks who've been in close contact with him, have spent any meaningful amount of time with him, are at risk of contracting the infection.
The former mayor of New York admitted to Georgetown University Hospital shortly after Trump announced Giuliani was positive. Tweeted he is getting great care and feeling good.
He was in multiple states over the past week where case counts are rising, hospitalizations are rising. Michigan, Georgia, Arizona, all those places have had huge surges in deaths.
California is another state seeing a record number of COVID-19 cases, more than 30,000 on Sunday. A stay-at-home order affecting 33 million residents began Sunday night.
The trend lines we're seeing now are really disastrous. They're just heading straight up in terms of the number of cases, the number of hospitalizations. So it really is time for us to pull back on the activity and see if we can turn this thing around.
Health officials say more cases will likely lead to more hospitalizations this month, crippling many healthcare systems that are stretched thin across the country.
We're starting in the last couple of days to see the effects of the Thanksgiving surge that we've all been worried about. And I think this week we're really going to see the full effect of that.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
John, thank you. There are more than 14.7 million known cases in the U.S. and more than 282,000 deaths, that according to Johns Hopkins University. Well, the American Academy of Pediatrics is now recommending youth athletes wear face coverings during games. America's largest group of child doctors updated its guidance last week on cloth face coverings for kids in sports to cover competition. The previous AAP recommendation suggested they be worn only on the sidelines, in between drills, or when entering or leaving the athletic fields. In addition to wearing masks during games, the association also suggests that practice should be kept small and kids with COVID symptoms out. There are some exceptions to wearing face coverings in youth sports. For instance, they're not recommended for swimmers. Face masks can also present a danger in competitive cheerleading or gymnastics, where they might impair vision or become a choking hazard. Well, organizers of the Blue Star Mothers Christmas Care Package Drive here in Chautauqua County say sending troops a piece of home during the holidays is more important than ever. After getting approval from the county health department, around 60 people masked up over the weekend to pack hundreds of boxes for U.S. servicemen and women overseas. Now, the boxes are filled with pretty much everything from packs of beef jerky to bottles of body wash and shampoo. However, the group's president says they're told by soldiers the best part of the packages is handwritten notes and letters. Now, this year, some of those letters are even more special after 88-year-old Dottie Muzzy put together boxes of handwritten notes honoring her brothers who served in World War II.
And she took all of that love and all of those feelings of what she felt when they were gone, and she wrote it in these letters. Heyman packed a box last night for 7 or 8 different of our military members and put a letter in that box telling them about that brother.
That's Susan Raleigh, the president of Blue Star Mothers New York Chapter 4, who says Muzzy dedicated each box to one of her 8 brothers. She says the cards and letters are the first thing the troops see when they open it, detailing the thanks and love from everyone in Western New York. Now, in total, 662 boxes were packed and shipped by JRSC Express. Raleigh says that business not only helped save her group money and reduce costs, but saved them time in providing electronic postage. In the past, Raleigh says each box had to be addressed by hand. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now on this Monday. Certainly great to see the community coming together in a safe way over the weekend to help those brave men and women. Let's check in with the comments and say hello to Jennifer. Good to see Brenda, Linda, Christian, Helen, and Heather as well. Thanks so much to see Pete, Butch, and Elise. Also, thank you all for tuning in here today. Well, now let's get a check of our first offense weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter is joining us live with that. And Dakota, it was a pretty chilly start to the day today.
Yes, it was. It was a chilly start to the day, and it certainly was a chilly day yesterday. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but this is a live look coming from the Warren City Bank in downtown Warren. Not a whole lot of traffic across the Hickory Street Bridge. 30 right now, and the winds is still going to be a problem, so we're still going to be dealing with a wind chill index today. So dress for numbers likely in the upper teens to lower 20s. Not 30, because we still have a pretty gusty wind out there. So satellite and radar shows you we have just those clouds across the southern tier, and we're seeing a few breaks in the cloud cover as well. So we're going to see a few peaks of sunshine, especially through the afternoon. 27 is our current temperature here in town right now. Also in Mayville and Clymer, that seems to be the favorite number. 28 Warren, 29 Tidiute, 31 in Harbor Creek, Erie up to 33, 28 Randolph, and 25 over in Olean. And temperatures are really not going to budge too much past this today, maybe about another 2 to 4 degrees. That'll be about it through the day. I think the cloud cover really is going to help keep our temperatures down a little bit. Also, Skywarn Storm Spotter training, last one of the season, comes up tonight at 7 o'clock. It is being held online, of course, by the Weather Service in Buffalo, and it is free to register, free to attend. Just go to weather.gov/BUF/Skywarn. That comes up at 7 o'clock tonight, and we need more spotters. This is a wintertime session focusing on winter storms and lake effects, knowing how to properly measure snow. 27 to 35 through the afternoon today. Lots of clouds around. A flurry will be possible, but who cares? The wind is going to pick up a little bit later in the day. It becomes 7 to 14 miles per hour in the later afternoon. Is there any big weather to contend with throughout this week? We'll let you know in just a few minutes. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you. Gas prices across New York State and across the nation are on the rise. According to AAA, the national average of $2.16 is up 3 cents since last week, while New York's is up 2 cents to $2.25. Now, 1 year ago, New York's average price was $2.68, and the average across the U.S. was $2.58. AAA says crude oil prices have steadily gone up since mid-November, resulting in higher prices at the pump. Now, according to GasBuddy.com, the average price of gas here in Jamestown is $2.35 a gallon. That up from $2.32 last month. Well, the American Ambulance Association says without relief, the 911 system seems likely to break down. As state Capitol correspondent Karina Campabianca explains, emergency medical technicians in New York say the strain they're dealing with comes to an already fragile system.
When you have a shortage of volunteers and a shortage of paid paramedics and EMTs, it does create a level of stress on the system, even in good times.
During COVID times, that's felt even more. Jeff Call with the United New York Ambulance Network says in a lot of places, people are afraid to go to the hospital, so EMTs are treating patients at home.
We don't get reimbursed unless we transport the patients. So we're seeing an uptick in those calls, and we're not being able to bill anyone because Medicare and Medicaid don't pay for treatment in place.
Additionally, calls are also taking longer, and so are transports.
We're trying to determine if they could or couldn't have COVID or COVID-like symptoms, and that results in a different level of care that we provide on scene. More PPE is being used. We got to wear different equipment. And then transporting them is more timely because we're not just taking them to the emergency room and dropping them off. There's a process to screen them and get them into the emergency room. So our crews are getting tied up a lot longer.
And some EMTs are getting sick themselves.
We're seeing entire agencies get crippled, really. If one paramedic or one EMT or one driver gets diagnosed with COVID, you got to remember that everyone they've interacted with in the last 48 to 72 hours could potentially be exposed as well.
The American Ambulance Association is asking for an additional $2.6 billion in federal aid for EMS. In Albany, Karina Capabianca.
Karina, thank you. The issue for private ambulance companies is that they have no longer the valuable hospital transfer calls they once received as hospital nursing homes and people put off surgeries and other medical procedures because of the pandemic. Well, straight ahead here, the latest push for COVID-19 financial relief, why we most likely won't see another stimulus check this year. And later, letters to Santa, we tell you about a local group who's rethinking the classic holiday tradition. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
Happy holidays from WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Wishing you a safe and happy holiday season. WNY News Now, the Jolly Team, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. New York senior senator is calling on Congress to pass a new round of jobless benefits before it's too late. Senator Chuck Schumer says new federal labor numbers show more than 13 million Americans are receiving unemployment benefits through CARES Act programs, but those funds will expire the day after Christmas. He explains rising COVID-19 infections are likely to hurt hiring, putting more families in peril.
So many millions have been thrown out of work through no fault of their own. They've been living not luxuriously and on less salary than they usually get through the pandemic unemployment insurance program we passed.
Now, as of Friday, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had resumed negotiations for that economic relief. The nation is continuing to battle the COVID war on two fronts, the pandemic and struggling economy. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill spent the weekend working on that package, but Nadia Romero explains why it's still an uphill battle that won't likely include stimulus checks.
A dire jobs report released Friday and record-breaking COVID cases nationwide, creating a sense of urgency over a potential stimulus bill.
There is momentum with the action that the senators and House members in a bipartisan way have taken with them.
The bill could include a halt on evictions, more money for the Paycheck Protection Program, and $16 billion for a COVID-19 vaccine and distribution, amongst other measures.
Good afternoon, folks.
President-elect Joe Biden says he's optimistic lawmakers will act soon, but also stressed the grim consequences if they don't.
12 million Americans will lose their unemployment benefits they rely on. Merry Christmas. The unemployment benefits allowing them to keep food on the table, to keep the lights on and the heat on, pay their bills.
But another $1,200 stimulus check might be out of the question for Republican lawmakers trying to keep the cost of the bill below $1 trillion.
We'll be able to look at this and say, okay, maybe a detail or two more to work out, but we've moved beyond a framework into kind of a fleshed out. We anticipate having that ready.
In Washington, I'm Nadia Romero.
Nadia, thank you. Those talks are expected to resume this week. Well, the annual Toys for Tots campaign is in full swing here in Chautauqua County. The group has held several drive-through collection events over the past month, including the most recent one at the Jamestown Holiday Cruise on Friday. Patrick Smeraldo, one of the 3 Toys for Tots coordinators here locally, says at that event alone, he collected around 15 barrels full of toys that will be given to area youth in need. He says that the need is greater this year because of the pandemic, with an increase in applications for help.
We did just over 3,200 children last Christmas. We surpassed that today. And we have about 10 days, a week to 10 days to go to get applications. They usually go 20 or so a day. Now we're seeing 60 a day. There's a huge need.
Smeraldo says anyone who can donate a new in-the-box toy should drop it off at one of the many collection boxes around town. Well, because of a worldwide pandemic, children might not be able to get the chance to speak with Father Christmas in person this year. That's why a local service organization is encouraging youth to ink their wishes on paper this holiday season. Normally, children from around the area would be invited to the Santa House in Falconer to get an audience with Mr. Claus. However, like many things this year, it's closed to the public. So instead, the Falconer Rotary Club is inviting children to write their wishes on paper, dropping letters in a box at the Santa House located in Colson Park next to Tops Friendly Markets. The group has installed a new bench so that families can have a place to sit and take photos while they visit. If children are unable to visit the Santa House, they can mail the letters to the Rotary Club at P.O. Box 122, Falconer, New York 14733. The club says every letter with a return address that's received by December 18th will likely receive a response from Santa Claus. Furthermore, the group is sharing Santa videos on their Facebook page of him reading stories to area youth. The Santa House in the village of Falconer has a tradition of linking kids with St. Nick since 1960. Certainly great to see that even amid a worldwide pandemic, they're still able to continue that trend in a different way. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. Is the best way to stay updated on local news that matters to you. Let's check in with the comments and say hello to Amber, Joseph, Heather, Bree, Wanda, and Lori. Let us know what all of you are doing today in the comments down below. Let's see what Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter is doing now. He's in the First Defense Weather Center. I imagine you're tracking this week's weather.
I'm doing something obscene off camera.
Oh, no. You don't want to do that. God, I can't believe
kidding.
you said that. Oh, my goodness.
I'm just kidding.
Either Dakota's a kidder all the time. It's all just fake, Dakota. Everything.
That's right.
It's just fake. The
That's
whole
right.
weather, it's just an educated
It's all fake.
guess.
It's all an illusion. I'm not really here. I'm actually on videotape. I'm actually not here.
Yeah, we wrote this really well. No, but no, this morning was a pretty cold start to the day out there. I thought, anyways. you know, as you get through winter, it's almost like our bodies kind of build a little immunity, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word to use.
Got to be careful using that word.
We build an immunity to the cold, or we get used to it, I guess. Our producer's like, we get used to it. Yes, that's a better phrase.
Yeah, it's true. Because, you know, coming up, it's like, you know, it's all very relative to the season, because when we get into January, 40 is going to feel fantastic. But it's like 40 feels freezing today. But hey, speaking of yesterday, the observed high temperature in the city yesterday was 29 degrees. That is the coldest day we have had here in the city of Jamestown, dating all the way back to February 29th. It was a leap year this year, so we had the 29th day, and where the high temperature was 21 degrees, and the lowest wind chill throughout the day was 16. So it really didn't feel like 29. It felt more into the mid to upper teens throughout the day yesterday. We're keeping track of that Christmas countdown for you. 17 more days until old St. Nick comes down your chimney and gives you some nice presents under that Christmas tree. And don't worry, he's safe from COVID. Don't worry, we heard from, I think it was Dr. Fauci who said he was immune to COVID. So don't worry, kids, he's fine. He's got those mystical, magical powers. 27 degrees as a noon hour right now, but this is an issue still. North wind to 13. Look at what it does to the wind chill, knocks it down to 16. So this is what it's going to be feeling like throughout the day today. Again, the mid to upper teens, lower 20s throughout the day. So dress for numbers more like that, not really the upper 20s to lower 30s. It's really going to be feeling a little bit more chillier than that. Across the Northeast and the Great Lakes, it's quiet. Shh, don't say a word. It's relatively quiet right now, nothing really going on, and that's really going to be the story throughout the next couple of days. Really just ho-hum, boring weather. Buffalo Bills, Monday Night Football tonight, something you don't hear too often with the Bills Monday night, and they are taking on my dad's team, San Francisco 49ers, but they're not playing in San Fran because of COVID restrictions. The game is being played at State Farm, at the State Farm Stadium in Arizona. Now, this might look a little odd to some of you, but this is Mountain Time here. So the times you have here are standard time, are Eastern time. The temperatures are for Mountain Time in Arizona. Hopefully that makes sense. 8:15, 69 degrees out there in Arizona, dropping to about 65 by the fourth quarter. The game should go off as planned. Root for whatever team you like. Here we go with Future Scan. It just shows you just lots of clouds around today. A few cloud breaks are possible later this afternoon and especially into tonight. We'll call tonight partly to mostly cloudy on average. Now tomorrow should be a little bit of a better day. We'll see a little bit more peaks of sunshine, and watch what happens here. We may actually see an area where we may actually clear out later in the afternoon with mostly sunny skies, and then the clouds return back again as we go into Tuesday night going into Wednesday. So the zone forecast, the inland areas, weather where you are, the inland areas today, this is the air temperatures around 30 degrees in some areas, but this is what it's going to be feeling like, 17 to 25 with that robust northwest wind, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, the next 7 days of your life, brought to you by 42 degrees and sunny, 32 tomorrow, partial sunshine, a little bit more sun than we had today, 37 on Wednesday, just a small chance for a few rain and snow showers. Thursday and Friday, boring, but at least we're back up into the 40s. 50, we make a run on Saturday, we make a run at 50 once again with a few rain showers, and then by the second half of the weekend, we're cooler again with a few rain and snow showers. We will take a break and be right back. Don't touch that dial. First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smokin' deals on smoking accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
Wishing you a safe and happy holiday season. WNY News Now, the Jolly Team, where coverage comes first.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Not tomorrow, but right now on the WNY News Now mobile app. Follow local news as it happens.
The mother of a special education student at Maple Grove High School is speaking out.
And stay informed with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network.
And Lake Erie is covered in less than 1% of ice as this winter season has entered its peak.
Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
Slow slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights. Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real.
Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
Happy holidays from WNY News Now.
Well, today marks the anniversary of a grim day in U.S. history. National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day honors those who died after Japan's attack on December 7, 1941. Now, that was the day when the U.S. changed its stance regarding getting involved in World War II. 2 years after it started, several battleships were damaged on Pearl Harbor Day, including USS Arizona and the USS Oklahoma, which both sunk. Some aircrafts were also destroyed. More than 3,500 Americans either died or were injured on the day. Well, concerns over COVID-19 have reduced routine checkups at dental offices across the country. With some patients now going back to the chair for the first time, dentists are seeing new problems. Mandy Gaither has more.
If you're feeling stress over the pandemic, it's likely your mouth is too. Atlanta dentist Dr. Travis Watson says his patients are having some pandemic-related dental problems.
There's a lot of close links to dental problems for people who take antidepressants. It can just have lots of negative effects on your mouth. It actually decreases saliva flow, so we see lots of opportunistic cavities in patients who are on antidepressants. We've also seen an increasing amount of patients who've presented with headaches and jaw aches that are directly related to grinding or clenching of the teeth, which we know has a strong correlation with emotional stress.
If you're concerned about going back to your dentist, ask questions beforehand.
What safeguards do they have on entry into the office? For example, is there a questionnaire, and are they very careful about admitting patients that have any symptoms? And also, does the office have the proper PPEs?
Dr. Watson says oral health affects overall health and shouldn't be ignored.
The evidence shows that gum disease has a direct correlation with heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, and many other medical problems.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Mandy, thank you. The CDC says people at higher risk for many chronic diseases are similar to those at higher risk for developing oral diseases. Common risk factors include stress, poor diet, alcohol and tobacco use, substance abuse, and poverty. Many of these factors have been highlighted during the pandemic. Well, it appears Hershey fans are not fans of change. The Pennsylvania chocolate maker got social media backlash after it changed its Hershey Kisses Christmas Bells ad for the year. Now, the ad first debuted in 1989 and has remained essentially the same all the years. But the 2020 ad starts out the same, with Kisses playing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" as a bell choir. But then a girl picks up one of them, and it turns out that she's baking with her dad as the song continues by a brass band. People complained on Twitter that Hershey's shouldn't tinker with the tradition. Hershey's noted it aired the original ad this year until debuting the new one on November 23rd, and it announced now it's going to show both of the commercials. Certainly lots of holiday traditions, but this one's a cute one nevertheless, and maybe that's one thing COVID-19 has taught us, is to value cookies and traditions with your family. Let us know what you think about in the comments down below. Dakota, I love both cookies and traditions all day.
Well, I mean, getting to the ad, because I had a little thing in my mind.
Yeah.
I am one of these people that don't like change just for the sake of change. And it's like, change is good, but I don't like change just for the sake of change. And in my humble opinion, I didn't see any reason to change it.
Let us know what you think down below. I
That's
think
my
it's
humble
good.
opinion.
It's good to brush things up.
Right,
I think
but
I
it
think
works.
I
There was
disagree.
nothing wrong with it.
I disagree in the sense
There
that
was no reason to change it.
why not change it? They still had
Because
the
there's
bells.
no reason to change it just for the sake of change.
But do you think it gets too stale if they run it a million times, or
If
because
it
it's a
has
holiday
become-
thing?
You see, you only see it during the holidays. So, I mean, it's just like Christmas music, you know?
Right.
How many renditions of every Christmas song has been made? Nobody is, as far as I know, unless somebody can correct me who's more, knowledgeable than I am, there's not really a whole lot of different Christmas music that's been written. It's just
There's
like
different
you
versions
see
of it,
everybody
yeah.
just redo old versions of songs. So it's just like, what is wrong with the original commercial? It worked, it was a staple, and it keeps on working.
So Dakota agrees with Twitter.
Yes.
That's a first.
The hateful tweeter. I know. I see a lot of the hate stuff. Woo! Boy.
Good to
you
see
wanna
Lisa. Good to see Mike, Sean, Nathan, and Kimmy as well. You get a lot of flack on Twitter, but you know what? We appreciate your tweets. I retweet them when I can.
That's true.
So
He heads
you got
the,
one lover.
yeah. He heads the main Twitter account for the company.
I do have that on my
Yeah.
phone.
He's
Sometimes I tweet from the wrong account, but that's another story.
I had that problem once, but at least it wasn't
Gotta
anything
be
bad.
careful.
21 to 28 tonight, a flurry or two, otherwise partly to mostly cloudy, and the wind settles down overnight, Justin.
All right, Dakota, thank you. That's it for us. We'll leave you with this live look over Chautauqua Lake. Kind of cold out there today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. Have a great day. We're back here tomorrow.